They say the higher you rise, the harder you fall. I used to think that was nonsense spoken by the poor to console themselves. But now, as I sit on this cold park bench, wearing the same suit for the third day in a row, watching people pass by without a single glance in my direction, I know better. I am Ethan Blake, CEO of Blake Enterprises, sharp-tongued, sharp-suited, and sharper than anyone in the room. I own the tallest building in the city, and I made sure everyone knew it. I spoke, people listened. I walked in, people stood. I lived in the clouds of my own pride until the storm came. It all began with a deal I shouldn't have ignored. Sir, my assistant Amy has said, nervously adjusting her glasses, there's a concern about this scattered proposal. The projection don't look. Do I pay you to worry, Amy? I snapped, or to obey. She nodded, lips sealed, and walked away. That was my style. Cutthroat, ruthless, and always right. But I wasn't right. The cartel deal was rotten. Hidden debt, falsified documents. I didn't bother to double check. I was Ethan Blake after all. Untouchable. The company crashed within weeks. Stocks plummeted. Investors pulled away. Lawsuits came in like a flood. I was accused of fraud, mismanagement, and corporate negligence. My assets were frozen. My property seized. I lost all. Friends gone. Employees vanished. Family. They said they were just tired of the man I had become long ago before the fall. I thought I had it bad when I had to sell my penthouse. But the true pain came the night I slept under a bridge, using a newspaper with my face on the front page as a blanket. The headline read, Blake the Broken, Fall of a Giant. It hit me harder than any lawsuit. That moment, I cried. For the first time in 20 years, I cried like a child. Weeks passed. I lived up scraps and the kindness of strangers. Humility is a cruel teacher, but an effective one. I began to understand what he meant to lack. I saw the people I once mocked, business drivers, janitors, street vendors in a new light. And then I met Mr. Dawson. He ran a small shop kitchen on 8th Street. One rainy afternoon, I stood outside his door, drenched and desperate. He looked at me, just looked, and said, You look like you've been to war. He fed me, gave me dry clothes, and most importantly, he gave me a chance. Everyone deserves a fresh start, he said. He offered me a job washing dishes. I took it without hesitation. I worked hard. I learned to listen, to serve, to value others, not for what they had, but for who they were. One evening, as I wiped down tables, a familiar voice called out behind me, Ethan. I turned. It was Amy, my former assistant. I heard everything. I'm so sorry for what happened, she said gently. But I can't believe what I'm seeing. You, here. I smiled. Believe it, Amy. Pride brought me to my knees. Humility is helping me stand again. She laughed softly. You've changed. I had to, or I would have died a proud, lonely fool. 3 years ago, I couldn't believe the last time I said thank you and meant it. Now I say it daily with sincerity. Life, as painful as it had been, gave me the greatest gift, a second chance. One afternoon, I was sweeping the steps outside the soup kitchen when a sleek black car pulled up. A man in a tailor suit stepped out, young, confident, reminded me of, well, me. Are you Ethan Blake? He asked. I used to be, I said with a small grin. Now I am just Ethan. He extended a hand. My name is Caleb Knox. My father was one of the small investors you helped ruin during the Qatar crash. My chest tightened. For a second, I couldn't breathe. I braced for a punch or at least a verbal lashing. He continued. He died shortly after that. He always said you were just another arrogant puppet in a bigger game. He didn't hate you. He pitied you. I looked down, guilt washing over me. But Caleb said, he also taught me to watch how men handle failure. I've been following your journey for a while. I raised an eyebrow. Why? Because I am rebuilding what my father lost. I have started a tech firm, modest but growing, and I need someone to help guide it, not with money or clout, but with wisdom, real wisdom. He handed me a card. I'm offering you a position, a consultant, flexible hours, nothing glamorous, but it's a start. I think your story can help shape mine. I stared at the card. Not innovations. I chuckled softly. You want a washed up ex CEO who once thought he was God? He smiled. No, I want a man who fell and learned how to rise again. Working with Caleb was nothing like running Blake Enterprises. There were no luxury offices, no expensive suits, no bodyguards, clearing rooms. Just honest work, brainstorming seasons, shared takeout dinners, and a team that respected each other. Slowly, I found purpose again, not in power or wealth, but in people. Then came the day I stood in a small stage in front of 20 young entrepreneurs, telling them my story. As I spoke, I saw heads nodding, eyes staring, notes being taken. I had become a voice of experience, of truth. After the talk, a young woman approached me. Mr. Blake, she said nervously, I was homeless for a year. I thought it was the end for me. But hearing how you bounced back, it gives me hope. Thank you. I reached out and held her hand. Don't thank me. Just promise me you will never stop trying. You see, losing everything didn't break me. It rebuilt me. I still walk by that tall building that once bore my name. Sometimes I smile, sometimes I sigh, but I never regret what happened. Because if I hadn't fallen, I never would have learned the beauty of standing again. My name is Ethan Blake, once a proud man blinded by power, now a just man, a better man. Moral lesson. Pride can build empires, but only humility can build characters. Sometimes life has to break us to teach us what truly matters. Not status, not wealth, but compassion, gratitude, and the courage to change. Never look down on anyone because the same people you dismiss on your way up may be the ones you need when you're coming down. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the story, please comment, share, and like. God bless you.